Good evening, I'm Brett Baer. President Trump is taking another major step in his pressure campaign against North Korea. The president putting the communist country back on the list of nations designated state sponsors of terrorism. The move paves the way for new penalties against the Kim Jong-un regime. Correspondent Kristen Fisher is live tonight on the North Lawn of the White House to tell us why this is being made right now. Good evening, Kirsten.
Hey, good evening, Brett. Well, this is a move that President Trump has been wanting to make for some time. He's had to wait, according to the Secretary of State, to make sure that North Korea legally met the criteria for this designation, and today he announced that it had.
Today, the United States is designating North Korea as a state sponsor of terrorism.
President Trump says it's something that should have happened a long time ago. North Korea joining the ranks of Iran, Sudan, and Syria as a state sponsor of terrorism.
This designation will impose further sanctions and penalties on North Korea and related persons and supports our maximum pressure campaign to isolate the murderous regime.
The designation is accompanied by a sweeping set of sanctions, banning arms-related exports and sales, controlling goods or services that could enhance the country's military capability or its ability to support terrorism, restricting economic assistance, and applying other financial restrictions. But North Korea is already so heavily penalized by the United States that in a surprise briefing room appearance, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson acknowledged that this new designation can only do so much.
And do you all see today's announcement as more symbolic or as something that really does have a lot of teeth to it?
It is very symbolic on the one hand because it just points out again what a rogue regime this is. I mean, as I've said, the practical effects may be limited, but hopefully we're closing off a few loopholes with this.
Today, a high-level envoy of Chinese officials returned from North Korea, the first time that's happened in more than 2 years. And it comes just 1 week after the president personally pressured the Chinese president to help.
You guys Donald Trump supporters now?
But it's something else that he had to ask President Xi for that frustrated President Trump the most over the weekend: the freedom of those 3 UCLA basketball players. On Friday, the father of one of the players watered down Mr. Trump's involvement by wondering to ESPN, quote, "What was he over there for? Don't tell me nothing. Everybody wants to make it seem like he helped me out." Well, President Trump fired back on Twitter, calling him out by name. LeVar Ball, the father of LiAngelo, is unaccepting of what I did for his son, and that shoplifting is no big deal. I should have left them in jail. But when asked today if President Trump really meant that, the White House press secretary said he didn't, and that it was only a rhetorical response.
If that's the case, he wouldn't have taken the action that he did.
Now, in addition to today's